Welcome to Cooking with Max, where we will delve into some delectable dishes that will guarantee to make you happy. Okay, it's not really about cooking. Well, it sort of is. And a lot of you are going to be thinking, what the heck are you doing talking about cooking on a horse channel? Well, because cooking is it's a lot like working with horses. And I'm going to start off by saying, you cannot make caviar with ground beef. It just doesn't work. Can't do it. You got to have the right ingredients. And your results depend directly on the ingredients you use, the quality of the ingredients, and following the instructions and doing things the way they should be done. I'll give you some examples. For example, you want to make yourself a chocolate cake. You can taste it before you even start making the thing. But you can't just cut corners, skip steps, and substitute ingredients, because there's a recipe you have to follow if you want to get that particular result. You can't just say, don't feel like putting sugar in today. I'm going to skip the sugar. Well, if it's a chocolate cake, most of you will know that cocoa is very, very bitter. And without the sugar, believe me, you're not going to like that cake much. I can pretty much assure you of that. And if you aren't patient, you're going to run into problems too. And there's a lot of really good dishes, real fine dishes that do require a lot of patience and a lot of steps to go through to get the results. And I can think of a couple different pastries that require an incredible amount of patience and repetition. And you do the same steps over and over again, and fold it over and roll it out, and fold it over, roll it out, and countless times to get these nice flaky light pastries that just melt in your mouth. Well, there's a lot of things like that. And another one is if you really, really want that chocolate cake bad. Some people, hi dog, some people get a little impatient. They'll be in a bit of a hurry to get that chocolate cake. And, well, the recipe says it takes 45 minutes to cook, but after about a half an hour, you just say, hey, forget it. I can't wait any longer. I want to eat that cake now. And, well, that's kind of the way it works with horse training. And it might start out okay. You can get the edge of the cake and it tastes pretty good. As you get closer to the middle, all of a sudden you get this doughy, gooey mess that's more like eating raw cake batter, and it's not all that pleasant. It certainly isn't what you were expecting. Well, that's what happens with horses. If you're working with your horse and you start skipping steps, it's going to end up bitter. And if you get in a hurry and you don't follow the instructions and take as long as it's supposed to take, well, it might start out looking okay, but I can assure you the results are not going to be good in the end. No, not at all. You're going to end up with that doughy mess eventually that is not what you want. And, well, what do you do with that once you get to it? Oh, my goodness. You're going to have to start all over. And that's exactly what happens with horses. And people get impatient. And I've mentioned this countless times, is, you can't get in a hurry to put that saddle on and go riding. And, well, this is kind of inspired by, yet again, I've seen the same thing that I've seen it before, and I'm sure I'm going to see it a few more times. It's always disappointing, but no surprise, really, when people get in a hurry. And they get that saddle on and start riding the horse, and they decide they want to do things a little bit differently. Well, that's their choice. They can do that. You can do that if you want. And, but, it's like I said, the recipe exists for a reason, because there's specific ingredients that you have to use. There's a specific method that you have to go through, and a specific amount of time it takes for it to cook. And if you don't follow that recipe and use all the correct ingredients, it's not going to turn out well. This dog's getting a bit annoying. She's a sweetheart, but she's a little annoying. She's as bad as my horses when I tried doing videos. But, it's really the same thing. It's, You can't, you got to use good ingredients to get good results. You have to follow the rules, the recipe. You have to do things, you can't skip steps. You have to take the amount of time it takes. And that's kind of how it goes with training. And, like I said, I see it all the time. And, it always disappoints me when I see it, but, people getting in a hurry and all of a sudden they don't want to do things the way they need to do things. They don't want to follow all the steps and take the time it takes. And they're in a hurry to get riding. And well, the end result is they're still going to have to deal with all those same problems, and trying to deal with them later is generally a whole lot harder.
Excuse me, dog.
Just like cooking. The results are directly, equal to the quality of the ingredients that you use and the patience and time that you put in to your training. It's just like cooking. You take time and use good ingredients and lots of patience, and you end up with extremely good results. It's like I said in the beginning, you can't make caviar with ground beef. It just doesn't work. You might end up with a really good meatloaf, though. I do like meatloaf, by the way. Nothing against meatloaf. Take your time, do things step by step, be patient, use quality ingredients. It's, like I said, working with horses, it's not really a lot different than cooking. And any of you that are foodie and really enjoy quality food and fancy dishes, you'll know what it's like, and you'll know what I'm talking about, And if you go to a restaurant that offers some of these fancy dishes, if you got to wait a while, don't be surprised. It takes time to make good food. And if they come out with that dish pretty darn quick, well, you can bet they cut corners and maybe used a frozen one or something, and it's not going to be near as good as the real thing. But that real thing, you're going to have to be patient and wait for it, because there's no shortcuts. You want to do it right, you do it right. You want quick results, well, there's a fast food place down the street. Have a good day.